everyone and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today we're going to be checking out the Beading School Academy bi-monthly subscription box for March and April 2023. Looks like we have some brightly colored crystals and beads that are in store for us today with our theme that's called Le Jardin Majorel. Now, of course, Beading School Academy is way more than just a subscription box, so you're going to have lots of inspiration to go along with this theme in the form of projects and corresponding tutorials and also other articles, design ideas, and more, which go along with what you see here. There are also two different tiers of the speed box, and I have the fuchsia level here today, which is the highest one, and every 2 months it'll ship for 99 euros. The turquoise tier level box is a little bit less in price, and it includes less of the contents that you'll see here today. But all that information, lots of details are on their website. I have that linked right down below. That'll take you to their subscription page, where you can also see the listing of all the different perks that come along with your bi-monthly treasures. Beading School Academy boxes also ship internationally, and no matter what currency you use, it's really easy to go through the checkout process and follow the steps and convert your currency to what you use in your location. So I know Erica and the team over at Beading School are going to have so much information and inspiration about this theme. I did a quick lookup of Le Jardin Majorel, and some gorgeous photos have appeared of a villa that's in Marrakesh. It's full of these bright colors that we see pictured below, with lush botanical gardens, and it's done in an Art Deco style. And it looks like it's a museum that celebrates the work of the designer Yves Saint Laurent. So just a little brief intro to that theme, and I know we're all excited to get into this box. So let's go ahead and take a peek first before we get into examining all of these items up close. Of course, this box is packed full to the brim with all types of high quality crystals and beads and other components that are meant to work together in a very inspiring palette. And I am so drawn to the aqua and turquoise that I see here on top of the box. And you can see that there are bags upon bags underneath layered in here that we will check out. And if you are somebody who is into bead weaving and embroidery in particular, especially if you really love working with high quality things, this is a great way to get top of the line crystals and other materials really thoughtfully picked out for you and sent directly from Europe. And as usual, we have a lot to take a look at, so I'm going to get a little bit more organized and I'll be right back so we can take a closer look at all these contents. All right, so I went ahead and took out the seed beads from their bag so that I could put them in this palette and we could look at them all together. Usually when we look at the seed beads, we get a really good handle on what the color palette is for the particular box. And these beads definitely cover most of what we are going to see color-wise. And we get started with some of the Miyuki slender bugle beads in metallic bronze. If you're going to use bugle beads, these are really the way to go. They're very consistent and a bit less jagged than some other types of bugle beads out there. So I definitely recommend those if you haven't given the Miyuki brand a try. And all the seed beads you're going to find coming in these boxes are by Miyuki. So high quality Japanese seed beads and what you want to go along with these other top-notch crystals and components. We also have 3 different colors of the size 11-0 Miyuki Delica beads. This first variety in this bright yellow is called Frosted Opaque Glaze Cream. So definitely a pop of color from that one. And this absolutely stunning velvety looking royal blue, which is what it's called. It's the Matte Opaque Royal Blue, and that is a rich color. And the third variety of delicas are in the Matte Opaque Turquoise. So we have 3 different matte options, all in these bright colors that lay out the foundation for the scheme. And then we get to our 2 varieties of size 15-0 seed beads. So you can see we're getting a mix of different sizes and also the delicas and the rounds. So you're going to have plenty to work with for bezeling in particular, and especially since you're getting these different sizes. On the left is the Duracoat Galvanized Yellow Gold, And then on the right, we have the one called Opaque Glazed Frosted Rainbow Peacock. And you can just barely see that rainbow glaze. Overall, these are a shade of medium teal or aqua, and a bit darker and less bright than those delicas that we took a look at in that turquoise color. And then we also have some size 11 OC beads, and these are also in the Duracoat galvanized gold. You'll also see typically the addition of different sizes of check glass faceted round fire polish beads, which in many projects are a must-have. And we start out with the smallest ones. These are the True 2 2mm rounds in Crystal Aztec Gold. So you can see that brushed metallic light gold surface with those tiny facets, even though these beads are so little. But you can also see their consistency and how they offer another option when you need something to fit in just the right spot, whether you're using these or a pearl or something similar. We've also been provided with two different colors in the 3mm size. On the left, we have the powdery blue, and then on the right is the opaque olivine. That's such a fun combination just with these two together. And you can see those subtle differences that they have in the finish, with the powdery blue having almost a pearlescent look to its surface, and then the opaque olivine with that classic glossy fire polish. That's offering us another shade of blue and also an additional pop of color with that lime green. And then we have two of the 4mm size fire polish round varieties in powdery blue, so just like we saw in the 3mm, now just a little bit larger. And then on the right, we have the opaque turquoise AB. So I'm going to take out the turquoise and we'll get a closer look at that one outside of the bag. You can see the iridescent AB coating that pops up in some areas of these beads, not the whole surface. So some are left just with the really saturated, bright, opaque turquoise color. And every once in a while you see the hint of that metallic rainbow of colors, which is really cool. Gives us another finish too in the fire polish department. And this particular color coordinates beautifully with those turquoise delicas. We've taken a look at a number of beads so far. We've still got a lot to look at, including our focal components, cabochons and crystals, bicones and two-hole beads. But let's take a look at some of these components and also the meter of ribbon that is included for us this month. The one I received is in a beautiful shade of turquoise. They all may come in this color. I'm not sure. Sometimes they'll switch up the colors of a few things that show up in the subscription, so I just want to mention that. But everything will be coordinated seamlessly. So we have a lot of this velvety textured ribbon to work with, which is something different than chain or other stringing materials that we've seen come in these boxes, and you could use something like this to add on to a beaded pendant as one example, and simply tie the ends of this in a bow, or you could use special ribbon ending findings to finish off the edges. And this time around we have mainly gold colored components. I've brought in some of them here out of their bags that include the crystal or glass inclusions. These types of things, just adding those extra special details to your jewelry. And I love the components that they send. They're never boring. They're always something unique that I probably wouldn't have picked out or have otherwise seen. But we have a pair of earring hook findings. They are in the rhinestone with the gold colored wire, and settings super sparkly with the clear crystals and in beautiful shape. And next we have a 10 by 38 millimeter Navette glass drop in the metal setting, which is of course in that light gold tone. Catches that light beautifully. It's cut and faceted perfectly. There's a look at the side of that piece, which is just in great shape, and a look at the back. And we also have a set of 2 of the 6mm Preciosa crystal connectors in the gold colored settings. The light pass through those so you can really see that blue color that shows up a lot lighter if they are not obscured in the background. Of course, Preciosa. And we have a pair that I could see being perfectly worked into some beaded earrings. And now we have a set of 2 of these 12mm cacti ball gold colored components or open metallic beads, which are really neat. They're also quite shiny and are not overly heavy looking because of the abundance of openings that make up these components, and they have a lot of texture going on too. Also important are some of our basics they've included for us: a pair of 5mm flat pad ear studs and a toggle clasp in the coordinating gold tone, just some subtle swirly details there on the loop and some additional details on the bar. And how fun are these next post earrings with the turquoise enamel giving the light gold tone that splash of color, and the loop on those posts giving you a place to add one of your brand new bead woven components perhaps. And these are in great shape as well as you look at the side, and they're in that interesting shield shape. Up next is one of our filigree components. This is a 19 by 37mm size, which reminds me a little bit of a crescent moon. We have that peak there in the center, lots of openings on this one too. So one of those components you could really get creative with and even layer it up because of all those different openings. Bead weaving directly onto this. You've got some areas where you could have some things hanging down, so it's just full of possibilities. They've also included this very unique clasp with the rhinestone details. That center bar just pops open and it clasps onto the other side. Definitely would take your piece up a notch if you added something like this to the clasp area. There's lots of style going on in that really unique design. And then our last component, I believe, is this one. It's called the Starry Sky Pendant with black and crystal cubic zirconia. It's a 22 by 28mm. It's got that rope-like detail on that top loop and lots of little tiny sparkly crystals that are glittering around that golden surface. There's a look at the back of that piece, which is finished off very clean and smooth-like. But things like that are a lot of fun to see. A lot of their components just feel like special treasures as you're going through these Academy boxes. And next, let's take a look at the collection of crystals that we have. First, with this 27mm round glass cabochon in Mediterranean blue. Wow, that's all I can say. This is so eye-popping to see this large crystal in such a pleasing deep aqua shade. And this, I'm sure, one of the focals that will be included in some of the special patterns and tutorials or projects that are to come that go along with this Academy box. And there's a look at the back, so all in really good shape and ready to be beaded around and incorporated with our items that are in abundance. And then we have a set of 2 12mm round crystal rivolis in tangerine opal, that delicious citrus orange. And I have not seen in person the opal variety of crystals in this orange color. It's a really cool combination. Gives you that extra fiery look from within, which is a little bit more subtle than the regular transparent cut glass. This orange is such a fun pop to a lot of the blue and aqua as well. There's the back. And then we have this 14 by 28mm spike glass pendant in Bermuda blue with that hint of greenish, more teal color in the center, getting deeper and more of a royal blue on the edges, being so sparkly and reflective as it moves around. And that hole that's drilled there at the top, which you could use as your connection point, and shiny silver back. There's also two different sizes of the Preciosa chatons included. We've got a set of two in the 11mm size in Maxima Crystal Aurum, and we have 6 of the 8mm chatons in turquoise. And these are actually in the flat back variety. The turquoise are not. So there's a look at one tipped over to the back so you can see. And that's something I've been enjoying playing around with, these flat backs in bead weaving. One nice thing is they don't have a pointed back or that additional dimension back there, which can sometimes be easier to bead around when it's got that lower profile back there. And these two you can see are in our reflective and shiny gold. And there's the opaque turquoise chaton stones up close, so you can see one tipped on its side, and they have that pointed back. And this gives a nice mix to our crystals too, because they're not all the exact same bright metallic with the reflective properties. These are providing another type of stone to work with, which will be more subtle and have that opaque color facing out. So here are some more of those flatbacks, also the Preciosa brand, this time in the 7mm size, and the color is called Capri Blue. These really glitzy, deep aqua colored flatbacks, again, just like we saw with the gold, not having the pointed or dimensional back. So being a great option for embroidery too, because they're flat on that side, but still give you lots of sparkle. We also have some sew-on crystals that are in settings. The first bag on the left being the 4x15mm navette shape in Caribbean Blue Opal. And then on the right, we have the little tiny 2.8mm chrysolite opal round rhinestones, these all being in the golden colored settings. So this giving us a little bit of a lighter shade of aqua to add in, which is another stunner in a different shape also. And there in the settings, you can see how they have the two holes running back there, which you can use to attach to your beadwork, using those to sew directly into and around those crystals. And here are those little tiny 2.8mm chrysolite opal in that shade of light green and that fiery sparkle from within. These being so tiny, you could even use them in a bezel themselves. I did something similar with some tiny sew-on crystals we got before in our November and December 2022 Beading School Academy box. And if I don't forget, I will leave the link for that tutorial in the corner if you haven't checked that one out yet, just as an idea for something you can do with little tiny crystals and settings like this. And then I missed this last set of components. I thought they were sew-ons at first, but these are some crystal drops, 2 of those in the light turquoise colored faceted glass in the golden colored settings, with that slim teardrop shape and nothing at the back of the glass. So a great candidate for earrings with the ability for the light to really bring out the color and the cuts. You'll also see typically a mix of 2-hole or multi-hole beads provided to us in the Academy boxes, and we've got 4 different varieties with this one of them being the Picasso opaque cobalt Miyuki Tila beads, which I can't wait to take out and look at up close. We also have the Storm Duos in alabaster metallic aqua. Another interesting shape is the crescent bead in the opaque Riverside variety. And then our 4th bag containing the Vexolo 2-hole beads in lemon terracotta red. This is the first time I'm actually getting to see this combination in person and up close. We've seen the Picasso Tilas in some other combinations like on the turquoise or green, but this one is showing up on top of that vibrant royal blue, giving the enhancement to the surface on both sides, making them a little bit more mysterious, providing the illusion of texture and not all being the exact same. So that one, in addition to our other 3 2-hole bead shapes with more corresponding colors, They're always sending us something new and different, especially with these finishes. That is really neat how it's not just a flat yellow, it's got some of that reddish addition, which provides some light areas of fiery orange. And our crescent, of course, and the storm duo adding to some of the aqua and the abundance of blue. Another staple that we see come in these Academy boxes are some of our Preciosa crystal bicones that I know a lot of us love to see. These first two coming in the Caribbean Sea color and two different sizes, the 3 and 4 millimeter, with no additional coating or finish. I have the 4 millimeter size in my hand to check out up close in this minty shade or sea foam, and the Preciosas being so wonderful to work with the glass being incredibly clear, not cloudy, and the holes being drilled really cleanly and not jagged. Our next two bags of bicones are also in the 3 and 4 millimeter sizes, and this time we have the Crystal Aurum Full Coat. Look at that reflective gold. I have again the 4 millimeter size for us to look at, these having the golden color smooth across the entire surface area and complementing a lot of our golden components well, and also a balance of more neutral like this that'll play well with a lot of the bright colors that we see here too. And our last bag of bicones contains the 4 millimeter size in the delicious Capri Blue AB 2 times. These are some of my absolute favorites. Not only do they have the Capri Blue color that I love, but they have a double coating of the AB Aurora Borealis finish that add to the sparkle and shine and provide a little bit more dimension to the Capri Blue color and some tones of green along with the blue crystal base. We have just two more bags of contents to look at, but I just have to stop and admire all this beauty that we see below with everything laid out. Once again, so inspiring, and another unique and cohesive palette that they've put together for us that is different from what we've already received, but consistent with the quality and quantities that we've received in the past, so that's always good to see. There's always so much in here to work with when you start actually playing around with the contents. It's amazing how much can be created with just one Beading School Academy box. And they're really a dream to work with because you get everything you need in all different sizes and you don't have to worry about picking out your color palette or anything like that. It's already been done for us. So in addition, we have some round druck beads. These are the 6 millimeter in powdery antique gold. With their sort of suede, brushed dark golden color, another coordinating neutral metallic, and another size now having the 6 millimeters to work with, in addition to lots of the 2, 3, and 4 millimeter size items in the more basic shapes. And our very last bag contains the 12 by 25 millimeter cactus bead in blue opal travertine with a gold wash. This is such a cool element with that wavy press design and the gold wash really enhancing that, especially in the lower areas. And this of course has the hole running through the length of this drop, which is pretty substantial and something that you could use that would really hold its own, or maybe use in addition to a bead woven component as a pendant. And once again, Beading School has hit it out of the park with this selection of items. This palette makes me really happy. It makes me also think of warm weather and sunshine, which is something some of us may be looking forward to now that we're getting out of the winter months. But like I said at the beginning, these Academy boxes, it's way more than just the box. So when you're taking into consideration which tier you're interested in getting and whether or not you want to sign up, keep in mind that it's also providing you with so many educational resources and a community to go with it. So you're never going to be stuck on what to make, because not only are they providing tutorials and patterns to go along with these contents, but there's others in the community who are also subscribers who have fun coming up with new projects. I know I hope to come up with something to share in the future, and I actually have a tutorial coming for their previous Academy box, and that'll be out in short order. So great for those who want some projects that they can whip up with the contents. Or if you like to experiment and play around and come up with your own things, these Academy boxes really give you everything you need and more to do that. So be sure to check out the website. I have it linked below that'll take you to their subscriptions page, and look at that long list of all the perks that you get along with the box contents, including regular meetups online with other Beading School Academy students, and other optional and fun educational opportunities and ways to collaborate and share what you've made. So I can't recommend the subscription enough, but that is just my opinion. Feel free to leave your thoughts right down below in the comments section. Also, I'd love it if you give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe while you're here if you haven't already, because I would very much enjoy having you back and hope to share some actual pieces using some of these items that we've unboxed together today. But that is all I have for now. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, I hope to see you all again real soon. And as always, happy beading.